welcome to Confessions of a Closet Romantic, your little shame-free romantic recess where we have so much fun looking at the best romantic TV shows, rom-coms, movies, and books on a different theme each episode. This is Poppy, and in this episode, we take a look at romances we love, coming-of-age stories. If you're in the U.S., you're probably familiar with the E! Network Movies We Love promotion. They're usually rom-coms or romances like The Proposal or any movie with J-Lo, that kind of stuff. I love seeing that little logo in the bottom corner because I know it's going to be a modern classic and one that's always worth a rewatch. Well, I recently met Danielle, and Wolfgang, who are the hosts of the delightful podcast, Hello, I'm Listening. This sweet, smart couple met when Wolfgang was an exchange student at Danny's high school in the U.S. Midwest, and they now live in Austria. Okay, you know I met my ex-husband as a pen pal, and I was in the U.S. Midwest. He was in the U.K., so we all had a meet cute.
Aww, so cute.
I decided to have them on the show to talk about romances they love, and it just so happens that all of us love coming-of-age stories. You've heard me mention my favorite romantic movie of all time, The Philadelphia Story with Katharine Hepburn, Cary Grant, and Jimmy Stewart. I have conservatively seen this movie 40 to 50 times. No lie. Throughout my life. And I'm guessing the reason I love it so much is that the story seems to grow with me. I think at first I was fascinated by the glamorous costumes and sets, the witty script, the wealthy life these characters led. But as I've gotten older and look back, I really relate to this story of a young woman becoming emotionally mature, finding her authentic self underneath her facade and through the vulnerability of love and relationship. The whole story takes place on the eve of her second wedding, crashed by her ex-husband, played by Cary Grant. He's a steady, affectionate presence and helps her develop an acceptance of her less than perfect self, which makes her fall in love with him all over again. The films that Danny and Wolfgang picked also have witty, smart characters who have supportive, loving people around them holding up mirrors so they can see themselves a bit more clearly. So Danny, tell me why you selected Juno as your this, and tell me how you define it. This changed the way I looked at relationships or whatever.
So I picked Juno because I actually might have broken the rules a little bit when you asked me about what movie to pick, because in my mind, I remembered Juno as being about Juno and Bleecker. But in reality, I watched it again today just as a refresher, and I actually saw it with a new perspective today. And I feel like it's more about the relationship between her and Vanessa, who's the adoptive mother.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of breaking the rules. It's not really then a romance, but it turns out to be a romance still with her and Bleecker. And I just think that it's such a good depiction of the teenage years and how awkward they are, but also like how just seeing how she changes. And when I say she, I mean, I am referring to Juno. Yeah. I know that it's Elliot Page now. Just to see how Juno changes throughout, the start of the pregnancy versus the end of everything. And it's, to me, it's always been such an accurate depiction of what that might actually be like. And their relationship in general feels so accurate for their age. Yeah, that's kind of why I picked it. It's always my go-to rom-com kind of movie.
I think it's heartwarming, but it's also so sharply funny. And just laser focus on certain things that people are trying to grapple with at that age. Say, what was she, about 16-ish in the movie?
Are you honestly and truly going to prom with Katrina DeVore? Hi.
Leah just said that you were gonna go with her.
Yeah, I did ask her if she wanted to go. A bunch of us from the team are gonna go to Benihana and then go to the prom and then go to VJ's parents' cabin. So we're getting a stretch limo.
Your mom must be pretty stoked that you're not taking me.
You're mad. Why are you mad?
I'm mad? I'm in a great mood. I mean, despite the fact that, well, I'm in a fat suit that I can't take off, and despite the fact that pretty much everyone's making fun of me behind my back, and despite the fact that your little girlfriend gave me the stink eye in art class yesterday.
Katrina's not my girlfriend, all right? And I doubt that she gave you the stink eye. That's just the way her face looks, you know? That's just her face.
Yeah, what, you just take soupy sales to prom. I can think of so many cooler things to do that night. Like, you know what, Blake? I might pumice my feet, might go to Bransdom Unitarian Church, maybe get hit by a truck full of hot garbage juice, you know? Because all those things would be exponentially cooler than going to prom with you.
You're being really immature. You have no reason to be mad at me. I mean, you know, you broke my heart. I should be royally ticked off at you. You know, I should be really cheesed off. I shouldn't want to talk to you anymore.
Because I got bored and had sex with you and I didn't want to, like, marry you?
Like I'd marry you. You'd be the meanest wife ever, okay? And I know that you weren't bored that day because there was a lot of stuff on TV and the Blair Witch Project was coming on Stars. And you were like, I haven't seen this since it came out, and so we should watch it. And then, but oh no, we should just make out instead. La la la.
You just take Katrina the douchepacker to prom. I'm sure you two will have, like, a real bitchin' time.
Well, I still have your underwear.
I still have your virginity.
God, would you shut up?
What, are you ashamed that we did it?
No.
Because at least you don't have to have the evidence under your sweater. I'm a planet.
I often found her to be the smartest person in the room, emotionally and intellectually sometimes, even when the adults were there with her. Do you agree with that?
I totally agree with that, which in some people have said that they feel like that makes it unrealistic, but I don't know. I think, you know, there are some people who are just old souls and there are some people who really just have their shit together and from such a young age, and I feel like that character was totally that depiction of a really mature 16-year-old who's still extremely immature at the same time.
Yes. Okay, talk more about, because my show's about love, romance, sex, connection, all the human stuff. So talk to me about the connection with the adoptive mother, because that note she puts, it's towards the end where she right, I'm in if you are, or what is that?
If you're still in, I'm still in.
There, the maturity that it took to say, first of all, I'm not going to get an abortion. I decided I'm 16 and I had this little fling with a guy who was mostly my friend, and then it was like, I don't know what it was kind of thing. It was just all navigating that was so brilliant in that script. So tell me more about how you felt it was about the connection between those two women.
Well, the interesting thing I thought was that you also see their relationship evolve. And so in the beginning, when she's kind of like has this relationship with Mark, which is the husband, it's that their relationship is at times kind of sweet, but at times a little uncomfortable. And then, you know, she kind of follows his lead a little bit in terms of, oh, Vanessa's not home, like, oh, thank God we can chill, you know, basically where it's not so tense and everything needs to be perfect all the time. But then, you know, there's the moment where she shows her the first ultrasound, and the camera work in that scene was also so powerful, I thought, because all of a sudden it shifted from her and Mark to her and Vanessa.
There's your baby.
Oh my God.
There's a hand. And an arm. And there's the feet.
Oh, would you look at that?
Whoa, check out baby big head. Dude, that thing is freaky looking.
Excuse me, I am a sacred vessel, all right? All you've got in your stomach is Taco Bell. It's amazing that there's actually saps that cry at this.
What? I'm not made of stone.
Well, there you have it. Would you like to know the sex?
Yes?
No.
Please,
No,
Juno,
definitely.
please.
No, there's no sex.
Planning to be surprised when you deliver.
Well, no, I want Mark and Vanessa to be surprised, and if you tell me, I'll just, like, ruin everything.
Are Mark and Vanessa your friends at school?
No, they're the adoptive parents.
Oh, well, thank goodness for that.
What's that supposed to mean?
I just see a lot of teenage mothers come through here. It's obviously a poisonous environment to raise a baby in.
How do you know that I'm so poisonous, you know? Like, what if these adoptive parents turn out to be like evil molesters?
Or like stage parents.
They could be utterly negligent. Maybe they'll do a far shittier job of raising a kid than my dumbass stepdaughter ever would. Have you considered that?
No, I guess not.
Yeah. What is your job title exactly?
I'm an ultrasound technician, ma'am.
Well, I'm a nail technician, and I think we both ought to stick to what we know.
There's Vanessa. You'd better go.
What? Why?
She hates when I sit around and I watch movies and I don't contribute.
No, I'll handle this. I'm really good at diffusing mom-type rage.
No, Juno.
Hey, Mark,
seriously.
where are you? I got some stuff.
Hey, Vanessa.
Juno, what's going on?
Oh, nothing.
What are you doing here? What's wrong?
I went to the doctor today.
Is something wrong with the baby?
The baby's great. It's the right size and everything. I even saw its phalanges today. Here. It's a baby. It's your baby. It kind of looks like it's waving, you know? Like it's saying, "Hey, Vanessa, will you be my mom?"
Oh, it kind of does.
Right?
Juno was nice enough to bring that over for us today.
Yeah, I came as soon as I got that ultrasound goo off my pelvis, and it was crazy, actually. My stepmom verbally abused the ultrasound tech, and we got escorted off the premises.
And it just circles around the two of them, and you see Mark kind of in the background, but you see him between their two faces. And it's like, it's so obvious that in this moment, these two are the most important people in the room. And it's about her reaction to seeing the ultrasound and Juno expressing like, oh, he's waving to you, like, hi, mom. You know, it's just like this really sweet connection that they have. And watching that evolve, there's another scene later on where she runs into her at the mall and she sees Vanessa playing with this little girl. I think it's her friend's kid. Juno is just watching her with this look on her face of like, I am totally enthralled by this woman. Like, this woman she's already a mom. And it's like there was a click moment for her. Like, oh, I get it. I understand now the struggle that she's been feeling not being able to have a kid of her own. And then that moment shortly after where she puts her hand on her stomach and she feels the baby kick and she's like, oh, you need to talk to him. And then he reacts then again. And just that moment too, it's that there's so much shared between the two of them.
It's incredible.
Oh,
What?
Kicking away.
Could I feel it?
Are you kidding? Come on. God, at school, everyone's just like grabbing my belly all the time. It's crazy. But yeah, I'm a legend, you know? They call me the cautionary whale.
I can't feel anything. It's not moving for me.
You should try talking to it, because, like, supposedly they can hear you, even though it's all, like, 10,000 leagues under the sea.
Hi, baby. It's me. It's Vanessa. I can't wait to meet you. Can you hear me, baby? Sweet angel. Oh, God. That was magical. Thank you.
Where they don't have to say anything to each other to see the connection between them is like, it's like sparks everywhere. I thought it was so beautiful.
Yes, and also don't you feel that I think the movie presents Juno in trying to find her way, I don't know, prescribed femininity or conditioned femininity.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of, it feels like in the script, she's always fighting against societal conditioning. Uh, who is she really? Is she a super girly girl? No, but where does she fit in? And all of her female relationships in that movie, I think, are pretty interesting. Like her relationship with her stepmom. It's an interesting one, right? So do you feel the same, that she's kind of a bit of a misfit in terms of societal conditioning, and the movie is her trying to figure out her place while going through this very feminine, very essential kind of experience? Did you see it that
Yeah,
way?
I think so, and I think it's also very intentional because if I remember, there is a scene where she's talking with her dad, and he asks her something about herself, and she says something like, "I don't know what kind of girl I am."
All right, we have to get you healthy. You need prenatal vitamins. Incidentally, they do incredible things for your nails, so that's a plus. Oh, and we need to schedule a doctor's appointment, figure out where you're going to deliver.
Juno, I'm coming with you to meet this adoption couple. You're just a kid, and I want you to get ripped off by a couple of baby-starved wingnuts.
Thanks, Dad.
Boy, I thought you were the kind of girl who knew when to say when.
I don't really know what kind of girl I am.
She's really trying to figure it out, but she doesn't seem to, like, in the beginning she's talking about there are these types of people. There's like the cheerleader who's really in love with the teacher, and she's
Exactly.
talking about all these different kind of stereotypes in that high school awkward time. And she doesn't really fit into any of those. She likes old movies, like old classic slashers, and she likes really old 70s rock. And I think that's probably also why I love the movie so much, because I relate to that so much.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
how I was in high school. I was the one who didn't like any modern day music. I liked 60s, 70s, and nobody understood me either. So
It calls up so many beautiful themes about connection and love
Mhm.
and what is romance. With Bleecker, it's like, oh, isn't that painful in all the right ways? Isn't that
Mhm.
how love often goes? It is so not smooth, that
And
path.
just how awkward it is in those teen years. I mean, I
Oh,
laughed out loud. I had to, like, go back 15 seconds and put the captioning on to make sure I understood correctly what he said, because right in the beginning, when they're about to have sex and he says something like, he's like, I've been looking forward to this, or I've been thinking about this for a long time. And she says, "I know." And then he says, "Wizard." And I'm like, "Wizard?" And then he says it again later in the movie at the end, like when he feels the baby kick, and then he says "wizard" again, and I'm like, this is just so beautifully awkward and weird and nerdy.
the script, the casting. Yeah, it was just so perfect. Oh my God, I
Yeah.
love it. Okay, Wolfgang, I want to hear. Okay, when you said the before movies, you didn't even have to say anything else. I was like, yes, the before movies. The two of them, am I right? That the two of them mostly wrote that script
They
together.
they wrote it with Richard Linklater, right? Yeah.
Okay, so Wolfgang, tell me why you picked that movie.
I'm totally a sucker for romantic comedies and coming of age movie. I think coming of age is one of my favorite genres out there, because they just most of the time are feel good movies, and there's nothing, nobody can say something against a feel good movie, I think. But the Before trilogy, and especially Richard Linklater and the whole cast, I mean, they, as you just said, they it feels like you get to know them in the first movie Before Sunrise, and it feels like a little bit coming of age, but also this first very intimate connection that they have. And also, I'm from Austria, so Vienna is, if something
Mhm.
something
Yeah.
set in Vienna, I'm a sucker for that. But as the trilogy evolves and you get to see them later, and then Before Midnight, which basically they're in their, I guess, 40s with kids, or late 40s even, there is this maturity about the relationship, and you can see they still love each other. There's still a lot of admiration, and just they know that they belong together. But there's also, I mean, life happened.
Eventually, he catches his face in the window's reflection, and he realizes he's no longer a 9-year-old boy, right? He's suddenly old. He's got a beard, his eyes are watery. and
Oh,
he's
this
still...
one seems sad. At first, I thought you were going to tell me the story about the guy that has an imaginary friend.
Which one?
And when he's in his 50s, the imaginary friend shows up
With
again,
the
remember?
hummingbird.
Yes,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
one.
Oh, you like that one?
That's funny. Remember that letter that you let me read that you wrote when you were 20 to yourself at 40?
Yeah, I remember the first sentence. Dear 40-year-old Jesse, I hope you're not divorced.
No, I didn't even remember that part. I meant all the other things in that letter. You're the same guy. I mean, we always think we're evolving, but maybe we can't change that much.
You know how I think I've changed the most?
How?
When I was younger, I just wanted time to speed up.
Why?
Well, so I could be on my own, so I could be free from my parents and school and all that shit. You know, I just wanted to close my eyes and wake up and be an adult. And now I kind of feel like that happened, and I just want everything to slow down.
It's strange. I've always had this feeling, no matter where I am in my life, that it's either a memory or a dream.
I know, you've always thought that. And me too. I mean, it's like, is this really my life? Like, is it happening right now?
It is.
I know. Every year, I just seem to get a little bit more humbled and more overwhelmed about all the things I'm never going to know or understand.
That's what I keep telling you. You know nothing.
I know, and now I'm coming around.
But not knowing is not so bad. I mean, the point is to be looking, searching, to stay hungry, right?
I know, it's true. I just wish it was a little easier.
How do you mean?
Well, just to maintain a certain level of passion, you know? I mean, it used to come so naturally. I remember when I was younger, me and all my writer friends, we just felt like we were doing something important, you know, like this was our time.
But you were all a bunch of arrogant little pricks, right?
No,
Sounds
well,
like-
all right, maybe. I don't know, it just grew out of all this energy, you know, this creativity or whatever ambitions people had. You know, it's like, I think you gotta be a little diluted to stay motivated.
Young men have this thing about comparing themselves all the time. They have all these signposts they judge themselves by. You used to do that all the time.
Do what? What do you mean?
It was like Rambo wrote this by 17, and Scott Fitzgerald did this by
Balzac wrote a book
30.
before breakfast
Yes.
every day, so what the hell am I doing, you know?
Yeah, but women don't think that way as much.
You don't think so?
No, we have much less to compare ourselves to, maybe. Most women who achieve anything in life, the first time you hear about them, they're in their 50s because it was so hard for them to get any recognitions before then. They struggled for 30 years, or they raised kids and were stranded at home before they could finally do what they want. Actually, you know what? It's kind of freeing. We don't have to spend our lives comparing ourselves to Martin Luther King, Gandhi, Tolstoy.
Well, what about Joan of Arc, right? I mean, she was a teenager and she saved France,
I mean,
so...
who wants to be Joan of Arc, okay?
Huh?
Forget France. She,
Yeah.
she was burned at the stake and a virgin, okay? Nothing I aspire
all right,
to.
all right,
What a great
all right.
achievement. Oh, God.
What?
No, nothing.
What?
This is so weird.
What do you mean?
just this, us walking, having a conversation about something else than scheduling, food,
Right.
work.
Yeah, I mean, how long's it been since we just wandered around bullshitting?
Do you hear what I hear?
You see?
No.
What? Oh, no small feet. No, nothing being knocked over, nothing we have to clean up.
We never saw what happened. We never witnessed it in terms of they showed flashbacks or something. They just talk about it, and I feel like that's something that is overlooked in a lot of movies and shows. Where I mean, not shows, not so much, but movies especially, because they tend to show more that is necessary, and I think the talk, like as you said, the dialogue, everything about it is so realistic, and so, like that could be straight out of somebody's life. And I love when movies capture just the pure human experience, you know, the pureness of, okay, we have dinner with friends and we laugh a lot and we have a great night, but then we walk home together and it's just that walk. You know, movies skip that usually, or they do like a little montage of, okay, they walk through that and walk through that, but they show the whole walk and they talk and the whole conversation completely shifts towards something else, and then they end up in the hotel room and it's super late.
Yeah.
And it's also perfect for this tension. All of a sudden, you know, they feel like, okay, maybe we have some sex going on or something, and then all of a sudden this tension builds because it was already there.
Look at us. Here we are. We are in you know, the Garden of Eden, and we can't stop fighting.
I don't think there's one natural human state. The human state is multiple. I mean, if that's what you see when you're watching the girls play, that means you're depressed.
Okay. Maybe I am.
No, but when I see them fight, I see beautiful energy of going forward in life and not letting anyone step on them or take away what they want. You know, I like it when they fight. It gives me hope for them.
Well, that's because you see anger as a positive emotion, you know? You only end up hurting yourself, your work, the kids, me.
And you never get angry?
When I do, I don't see it as a positive.
You know something? The way you write in your books, people come up to me and think I make love to some wildcat Henry Miller type. Ha! You like to have sex the exact same way. Every time.
When you got it, you got it.
Kissy, kissy. Titty, titty. Pussy.
I'm a man of simple pleasures.
Yeah, very simple. And I've been meaning to tell you that lately. You know Henry Miller on any level. And you know what? This room gives me the creeps. You know, I was expecting something quaint like the real Greece.
This place is
What the
pretty
hell are
real.
we doing here anyway? This is all too planned, like we're supposed to have this great evening. You know, there's no room for spontaneity. It is all gone from our lives. All right, and this is stupid, and it's not working.
Okay, well,
right?
obviously.
Yeah. And,
right.
and I curse Ariadne and that perv Stefanos for doing this. Okay, a couple's massage. What the fuck is that? That sounds sleazy to me, right?
You don't have to do it! Okay? Come on, this place isn't so bad. I like hotel rooms. I think they're sexy.
Yeah, I know you do.
And it's so perfect because we have all been in that moment where, you know, we had this really great night and then we went home and then all of a sudden something happened. Somebody says something and it's so perfect. And what I really liked, I rewatched the scene where they fought and he starts screaming at her and like how he feels about it, but not in a mean way. But he's like, I still love you, but all of the stuff you just said is bullshit because blah, blah. And she walks out. And he sits down and just, and then she walks back in.
And I am not in conflict about it, okay? But if what you want is like a laundry list of all the things about you that piss me off, I could give it to you.
Yeah, I want to hear.
Okay, well, let's start at number one, okay? Number one, you're fucking nuts. All right? You are. Good luck finding somebody else to put up with your shit for more than like 6 months, okay? But I accept the whole package, the crazy and the brilliant, all right? I know you're not gonna change, and I don't want you to. It's called accepting you for being you.
Yeah, okay. I asked you a question. If, while I was carrying that double stroller down the stairs and getting ass raped in Pigalle, you fucked that little Emily Bronte girl.
Okay, I don't know what Emily, what are you even talking about?
The one that wrote the nice emails about Dostoevsky. Oh, Jesse, you're so right. The Grand Commander is the deepest passage of all of Russian literature.
If you're asking me if I'm committed to you, the girls, and the life we built together, the answer is a resounding yes.
So you did fuck her. Thank you very much.
Do I ever ask you about the time you went to go visit your old boyfriend after his mother died? No. You want to know why? Because I know the way that your fucking French ass works, and I guarantee that you at least blew that guy. But I also know that you love me, all right? And I'm okay with you being a complicated human being. I don't want to live a boring life where two people own each other, where two people are institutionalized in a box that others created, because that is a bunch of stifling bullshit!
You know what's going on here? It's simple. I don't think I love you anymore.
What I love about that scene is it's so raw, it's so honest, and it doesn't, you know, it doesn't cut away, it doesn't show anything, it just stays with them and then it just stays with him. And obviously there's this moment where it makes click in his head, and he's like, okay, I was an ass, completely
Yeah.
stupid. And the makeup is just also beautiful because it doesn't need to be big, it doesn't need to be massive. It's just this perfect scene at the end where it's a great ending.
Miss?
I don't want to talk right now.
You by yourself? Are you waiting for somebody?
Yeah, I'm by myself and happy to be. I'm an angry person and I hurt my kids, my work, and everyone I love.
Oh, just my type.
Okay, I'm not in the mood. I came here to be alone.
Hey, listen, I've just been checking you out from across the cafe, and I don't want to make you uncomfortable, but you are by far the best looking woman in this place.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and I'd love to buy you a drink, maybe talk to you, get to know you a little bit, you know? I mean, you're here in business? Okay, I see. All right, you have a boyfriend?
Not anymore.
Jeez, sorry to hear that. God, you want to talk about it?
I don't talk to strangers.
Well, that's the thing. I'm not a stranger. No. We've met before.
Oh.
Summer '94.
Mistaking me for someone else.
No. We even fell in love.
Really? I vaguely remember someone sweet and romantic. Who made me feel like I wasn't alone anymore. Someone who had respect for who I was.
That's me. I'm that guy.
I don't think so.
Oh, see, I know something about tonight that you don't know.
Really? What is that?
Something important. You see, I know because I've actually already lived through this night.
How?
I'm a time traveler.
Okay.
Now I have a time machine up in my room, and I've come to save you just like I said I would.
Save me from what?
Save you from being blinded by all the little bullshit of life.
It's not bullshit.
I assure you, that guy you vaguely remember, the sweet romantic one that you met on a train, that is me.
That's you?
Yeah.
Guess I didn't recognize you. You look like shit.
Well, what can I say? I mean, it's tough out there in time and space. You, on the other hand, are even more beautiful than I remember.
Aren't Danny and Wolfgang the greatest? Don't miss their little chit-chatty podcast. It's really lovely. If you enjoy this podcast, I really hope you will tell a friend about it or share this episode. And if you want to tell me about a romance that you love, please get in touch at confessionsofaclosetromantic.com. That's where you'll find show notes and a link to Danny and Wolfgang's podcast, Hello, I'm Listening, and more information about this episode. While I'm at it, hi to all my Austrian listeners. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad everybody is here. And until next time, wishing you plenty of time to watch your favorite romances.